Well, hello again. Welcome to Behind the Sermon. We're actually on this crime scene here from yesterday. We preach sermons here on Sunday, then we come in here during the week and we kind of follow up and get behind what that sermon was all about. And we're going to talk about a sermon topic today, which you've chosen.
Yeah, and if our viewers, if this is their first time, we've only done this twice now.
Right.
Mike, you were in 1 Peter 3, 13 to 17, and I loved your big idea. When the Christian life meets worldly persecution, we speak hope. But it really conjured up, the more I listened to it, the more I thought, let's let our conversation go in this direction.
Okay.
Behind the sermon yesterday was what I would call counting the cost. I went through the passage again and I noted all these big words: suffer, troubled, harmed, slandered, and revile, and you talked about that. So I want to take you into three very brief reflections, and I want you to talk about you. Really, I'm asking you to talk to all the preachers and teachers out there. What would you want to say to them about the urgency of counting the cost? Think in terms of the speaker only.
Yeah, I think it's really important for the preacher to make sure his congregation understands what it means to follow Jesus Christ. I think that there's been enough watering down in our culture. The American Christian may not fully understand that there's more than just going to church. And so what I tweeted yesterday, which was really interesting before the sermon, was it's just as important as a preacher to preach to your congregation, mature Christians, and remind them this is what Christianity is about, as it is to reach the visitors that may be in the crowd. Sometimes we focus on that. We go, hey, there's visitors here. I've got to be clever or funny or whatever. But truthfully, preaching at its very core is reminding the believers, here's the price that you're going to have to pay to be a follower. And I think yesterday, in a strange way, was a wake-up call for all of us to go, oh yeah, this is not just a club that we belong to. But it's also evangelistic because non-Christians get to go, oh, what am I signing up for?
Okay, I want you to drill into that a little bit more. Talk about you as a preacher. Do you reflect directly on, hey, I got to count the cost in my own life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the, as you preach every Sunday, one of the realities for my spiritual journey is that I have to now look at this text that I'm going to preach on Sunday and go, am I doing this? Has this got a hold of me? And in what ways am I sacrificing? In what ways am I being persecuted for my faith? In what ways is my faith evident to those around me? So, I think it's always, good preaching is always a deep soul searching first and foremost. You encounter the Word, and then you have to bring it in your heart. An old preacher one time said, get a sermon and then let it get you. And I think it's a great phrase, Mike. Just to say, hey, you know what? If you're going to tell people, and it was kind of a hellfire and brimstone, hey guys, Christians got to get their acts together.
Initially.
And when I say that, it means I've got to get my act together.
Okay, again, behind the sermon, this is a chance, and if we want to end here, we can end here, Mike. I want to call this other group a pre-Christian group. And we never know who's going to show up at Eastview, and it would be true of a lot of our listeners. We don't always know our audience well. But my hunch is, as you think about that pre-Christian person, I know you do this, but I want to give you a chance to talk to them about counting the cost. What's the cost that you would want to express today to the pre-Christian, the person who hasn't said yes?
Strangely enough, last night here at church was somebody that I've invited a couple of times, and she was here last night. So somebody that Sarah and I have prayed about, and as far as I know, have not crossed the line of faith yet. And so when you're sitting here in this position and you see that person, it makes you go, oh, I want to say something to the non-believer. And here's what I would say, JK. It's going to cost you everything, and it'll be worth it. That would be my simple message to a non-believer. Jesus will not take second best. He will not take half of your commitment or your heart. He wants the whole thing. But it's that parable of the guy that finds the hidden treasure and he goes and sells everything to get the field. The guy who finds the pearl of great price and he sells everything he has to get that one pearl. Jesus is like that. The kingdom of God is like that. Whatever it costs you to get Jesus, you'll never regret it. It's a great investment. So, but I think it's good sometimes we have gotten in this culture, and this would be something, again, for us preachers to consider. Don't try to make Jesus seem warm and fuzzy and friendly and easy.
Yeah.
He just isn't. There's just no way you can make him be that. And so when you're preaching, and when you're evangelizing, and when you're preaching to the non-believer in your pew, make sure that they understand Jesus is not a guy that goes, oh, you can halfway come in. He wants you all the way in, and here's what it's going to cost, but you won't regret it ever. It will be worth it every time.
Good word.
Hey, amen. Hey, God bless you guys, and if you guys want to, and you like what's going on here behind the sermon, tweet some of your friends, favorite this on Facebook and stuff, and just let them know that we're talking about sermons every week. God bless you. See you.